2021, a year I thought we would be returning back to normal, or many others would say, the new normal lifestyle. Once again, this has been an impressive year of personal growth, challenges, and memories that I do not want to forget about. Welcome back to another year in review video in the life of Hilson. This year, I started doing a monthly journal to help me remember easier some of the smallest and biggest highlights that's happened. Let's get this started, and I hope you all enjoy. So I'll start in January, a month where I celebrated my birthday. I realized I'm much closer to 30 than 20s, which means time has gone by fast, and a reminder that I'm no longer that inexperienced kid. I'm a man with different types of life experience now that can share what I learned with the world. This year, I celebrated my birthday in an unusual way by doing a live stream with friends and my followers instead of actual meetup with friends. It was such a sweet, fun experience that I wouldn't mind doing again. I also had a great friend Thomas come by my home for dinner, and very fortunate to have him take some birthday pictures with my parents as well. A reminder that at times the simplest of things brings the most happiness. In the same month, I also experienced something for the first time. I had an actual injury while working out. It was my fault doing the shoulder dumbbell exercise without proper technique, and that's what caused my wrist to sprain itself. I had troubles doing everyday activities with challenges. I finally realized how inconvenient having an injury is, especially to a significant part of your body. I remember when it hurt so much to even turn the car steering wheel. From that point, I kind of understood how mentally tough athletes have to be since they go through this many times, and mine is not even that worse. On to the next month, and once again on my road to recovery, I injured my wrist again doing the same exact exercise. Can you believe that? But this time, I dealt with it smarter by seeing a doctor who gave me some super strong painkillers, actually taking more time to heal, and forcing myself to do lighter workouts. I've been giving advices not to do the same exercise again, but I didn't feel those were helpful at all. It's not the exercise that's dangerous, it's my technique. So I was determined to do it properly, starting with light weights. And ever since that point, I became more comfortable with a new technique. From this experience, never run away from challenges, embrace them, and figure them out because the reward is more fulfilling than escaping from it. In the same month, I also wanted to do a K-pop comeback, dyeing my hair a different color. This time it's brown instead of the usual red. I felt this color quite suits me and looks real natural too. If only dyeing hair wouldn't cause as much damage and money, I would honestly do it more often and experiment with different colors. I feel every hairstyle and color represents somebody's personality and persona in some way. It was also Valentine's Day that month, and very interestingly, I got to spend it by doing a video date on Hinge. It was my first video date too, since I always met girls in person. It was very different feel, but that was still comfortable. Unfortunately, the girl and I weren't able to continue our relationship since our interests and goals were different, so we moved on. Life goes on just like that. There's going to be many moments where people come and leave in your life. I've experienced that so many times and realized all we have left is the memories with them. In March, I found a Canadian company called the Good Nature Product Company, which I really like the products, and it helps to make Earth a pretty greener place. I took the next step to initiate to the company and request for an investor interview. Surprisingly, they accepted it and cooperated well with the curious questions I had for them. I'm still a faithful investor in that company today and believe long-term their products will get better recognition for helping people and the environment. I learned to not be afraid to ask and be more of an opportunity seeker in life, rather than a person waiting for the opportunities to come. In April, I decided to be more creative and start my own finance business class. Since I love helping people and learning about finances, I thought it would be a perfect idea to start. Though it sounds like the perfect idea, I have to admit it's quite hard attracting customers. Is it because of my advertising skills, profile, abilities? I've gotten a better perspective of people starting their own business. It's a huge responsibility with so much work and luck involved. The most success I had was this dedicated student who would join my class for about a few times. He tells me my investing value is the same as his, but after a few more lessons, he would just suddenly tell me he can't continue anymore because of family reasons. I obviously believed him, but on the other hand, I also asked myself, is it because of my bad teachings in some aspects that made him leave? In the end, I don't have the answer, but I do know the next best thing to do is to continue improving my teaching skills, making sure the next lesson I give is the best one. So what else happened in this month? Well, my health wasn't in a good condition, and that's not my usual self. I would have stomach ache pain after eating, an inconsistent washroom schedule. After an ultrasound test, it showed that both sides of my stomach was experiencing cramping. So I need to get my stomach back to its normal self by trying some laxatives and reducing my stress level over the next few weeks. I had underestimated what stress could do to someone. As someone who's very health conscious, I now understand that long-term stress can actually affect our body parts too. In my case, it was most likely responsibilities to fix so many parts of the house, some family and personal issues as well. Yeah, everybody, reminded to take care of yourself, because if you can't, that means you can't even take care of others. May was the time to celebrate my mom's birthday. Here's a picture of her and my grandma taking pictures together. As both of them are getting older, I feel more responsibility to take care of them, and that's what we should do as kids, right? I also searched for a new volunteer opportunity to help others in need. At the food bank center, I helped give out weekly food to others who needs it. Not only to low-income earners, but people who have a family, and even students in financial debt. It really reminds me how I started volunteering in school and why we had to do it. And later on in life, most of us stopped to focus on ourselves. Sure, everyone has different priorities, but I do suggest everyone do more for the community rather than working for ourselves all the time. I want to live a life where I am not only working on myself, but giving value and help to others. June was the start of summer and the start of a new job for me. Working for Statistics Canada, I had to help gather data for the census. It was an eye-opening experience exploring around Richmond, going to different neighborhoods I've never been before. I also made a very big career choice by deciding to return to school, which is Langara College, for the library technician program. My biggest motivation is working with kids and books, because that's something I'm passionate about and can't wait to try. Honestly, it was a hard choice for me because I keep thinking I'm too old to return to school and wonder how will I have the constant motivation to be in study mode for an intense program like this. Well, we'll find out soon how I react to this. My family and friends reacted pretty positively to it. They gave me support and told me, do it. Not only will I do it for myself, but also for them. Fortunately, in this month, my dad's health worsened, especially with his legs being very weak and needing help to walk. As a family, we experienced more caregiver stress. If you didn't know, my dad has last stage of colon cancer. We found out last year in May. It was already too late. Doing treatment simply delayed his death. And sadly, with our technology today, we still don't have a cure for cancer and many other terrible diseases. But it gives me hope in the future we would have that technology so people wouldn't have to suffer. It's a constant painful feeling seeing your loved ones in pain. Besides that, it was also very special Father's Day celebration, and one which is the most memorable. We had a huge barbecue at my house. Our home is never that festive, except when I do parties. It was such a fascinating moment for me to experience. To all the dads out there, what is the best present your children can give you? Let me know in the comment section below. In July, my dad passed away peacefully at home. This is something I experienced for the first time, and it was overwhelming. There were many emotions going on. I had a lot of family and friend support throughout this process, so it helped my mental mind a lot. Because my family is Buddhist religion, we had to do a lot of different offerings and rituals for my dad every day. In a way, we had to burn and offer a lot of things for him to live happily in the afterlife. Of course, this all new experience to me, so I tried my best to understand and remember as much as I could. On the optimistic side, my dad didn't have to suffer anymore. He's in a better place, free from pain, living happily with his friends and other family members. I miss his voice. The fights we used to have all the time about different things, and most importantly, his life advices. But I know he's still watching me, and I want to make him proud. And honestly, I'm most proud of our relationship improving, understanding each other way better compared to before. I don't have any regrets, and so glad to have him as my dad. In August, it was a long, tiring process taking care of my dad's business and everything else. Packing and organizing things at home makes us realize how much garbage we have left. And most importantly, this month we spent a lot of time planning my dad's funeral. I've never been to a funeral before, making this my first one, and coincidentally, I'm planning for it as well. Organizing the service ceremony, choosing the appropriate land, so much to learn. It makes my head explode. But we did it step by step with my mom and brother, and finally made a successful funeral. My dad is resting peacefully in Forest Lawn Funeral Home. So if any of you want to visit, we can go together. As summer passes by, a new school journey is waiting for me. I'm back to school and returning to this new lifestyle. September, and I'm so familiar with studying, meeting new people. That's what I did and really cherish. I remember that bittersweet feeling of joining school clubs and interacting with others. I also was able to meet some good people in my classes, and bonus, made a very, very good friend in my business applications class. Returning to school was one of the biggest moments for me, especially me being the oldest participant there. Oh my god, can you believe that I'm 26 and I'm the oldest? I remember being one of the youngest participants and now I'm the oldest. It's weird in the self-introduction parts hearing other students telling me they're in first and second year, trying to figure out what they want to do, and then there's me, a UBC graduate, back to school. Seriously, I don't think anybody does that except for me. Even I still feel youthful, I slowly need to be comfortable being the oldest and wisest in the room now. Another interesting thing is when I tell others I'm studying in a library program. Almost everybody gets curious and asks, what's that about? What's that about? Maybe it's the first time they heard someone studying and have a big misunderstanding that I want to be a librarian. So I tell them more about my current program and that there are other jobs in the library than a librarian. The truth is, being a librarian takes a master's degree certificate. I'm sorry, but that's not for me. I just want to be a simple worker at the library, doing story time and other fun events with kids. I also returned to YMCA, my old workplace, to do childcare. Wow, so emotional seeing all the older kids and a whole bunch of new ones too. I sincerely love that job, and I can see myself doing that part-time for the rest of my life. Kids bring so much happiness and lessons. I can work out for free, the school is super close to my home. What more can I ask for? Okay, the only complaint is me waking up at 7, cause childcare starts super early, oh my gosh. Every time I get up, I tell myself, the kids need you, Hilson, the kids need you. And then somehow I just get up and go to work. So, a reminder, find more motivation to work besides the money. You'll feel happier and more fulfilled doing something that you like. So what else happened this month? Another Hinge date this time. We went from Zoom meetings to an in-person meetup. I totally forgot how sweet of a feeling it is just to meet at a cafe and talk with someone. We seem to connect pretty well and have a lot of common values and interests. I don't know how this relationship is going to turn out, but it's going to be special in some way. Only time will tell. In October, I added more things to do in my life. This time, it's volunteering to read with children. I'm paired up with some kids, and we're supposed to read one-to-one every week to improve their English skills. I would have to say I'm very grateful to be matched with them. They are super smart, energetic, willing to learn, and actually like me. From grade 1 all the way to grade 5, I sincerely enjoy being a part of the program so far and can't wait to see how much they've grown within the next year. In November, my library program was able to get the chance to go inside Vancouver Public Library for a tour. I was so amazed at the amount of resources and all the different types of people wanting to work there. Seriously, the library is so big, it feels like going to some fantasy magic library. Even though all of us students have one main reason to be in the program, a lot of us actually have different career choices. Such a crazy experience seeing how working at a library is, and someday I can't wait to be a part of it. Another great news happened, and I was hired by Langara as the Global Ambassador. That title sounds boss, okay? I feel so proud already. The main responsibility is actually to help international students with anything. Looking forward to talking with them in a new semester and solving all of their problems if I could. Not only that, I can't wait to work with my new coworkers too. All of us come from different backgrounds, so this place brings all diverse cultures together. It really reminds me of how much my dad wanted me to get a good job that can provide money and stability to the family. When he was alive, he would tell me a career represents a man. Quite traditional thinking compared to modern days, but I definitely understood why he would say that. Honestly, me and him have different definitions of a good job, since I think of a good job as having freedom of time, doing what I love by helping others, and then money. Although it's not a good paying job, it's still a title which I really cherish and the opportunity to help a lot of people. I hope that part makes you proud, Dad. Lastly, December arrived and finally finished my first semester at the library program. Put in a lot of work, learned so much new knowledge. Surprisingly, it's only going to get harder as each semester goes by, which means I have to use my time even more smartly. So how did I celebrate? Haha, by having a few Christmas parties and inviting some of my old and new friends over to my home. Everyone represents a little part of me and the steps I've made to build those connections. Thank you all. End of this adventurous year and this super long video, I just want to say I really love you all. All of you are special to me in some way. That's so cheesy. I gotta stop. Anyways, I've embraced the many challenges and events that's happened this year and evolved not once, but many times. I've also hoped the same goes for you as well. In 2022, no guarantees what kind of adventures there will be, but life goes on and I'll be ready. Happy New Year, everyone, and I wish all of you the best in 2022.